Alright, so let me start over on that crap. This is the 1 minute system. It also works on 5. It is for London, US only. Typically, the Asia session does not have enough movement to even make this shit work. So let's try and stick to that. London, great. US, meh. If you do trade at the US, by US lunch, East Coast, 12 o'clock, stop. Volume drops off. You're looking at crap then. You can use this along with TA. I will get into that once I turn the recording off. So I'll show how to use both of them together to help you out a little bit on picking what should I be trading TA or should I be trading trend. If you can't see it, there's probably a problem and you need to get with me. But we're going to start off with no candles on here and then go. Okay, so what we're looking for mainly, I guess is let me explain the system first. It's a hybrid of, I guess, moving averages, and then I combine some of the itchy terminology into it. I like itchy because the clouds are easy to understand for people. So if I refer to something, it's going to be a cloud. There's cloud, and channel. So to make it simple, this is the slow-moving cloud, medium, and the channels are fast-moving. What we're seeing here is what you want to see for a setup. I did do a little picture and I sent it to someone. Let me see. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to refer to something being braiding, which might be considered ranging or whatever you want to call it. But since we're dealing with moving averages, when I learned it, wow, I sound like a retard. When I when I was taught this, the terminology that was used with me was braiding. Oh my god, I cannot think today. Pictures, why can't I think? If you don't know what braiding is, you probably don't have a kid or a daughter. Let me see if I can find it. And then we'll get going. But what you see on this... is actually just screw it. If you don't know what braiding is, then look at a girl's hair when they braid it. That's what braiding means. It means that things are moving in and out, like right here. See how this one crossed over into this to the slower, and we see red forming. This is braiding right here. It's not good. We don't want to see that. What we want to see is this. And if a lot of y'all, this is just basic shit that if you've ever studied moving averages, you should know already. The arrow here, this arrow doesn't mean take a trade. This is why I took candles off. All this arrow means is a potential trend change. God, I'm having issues talking today. It does not mean take a trade. It doesn't mean anything. It's just there to say that there's a potential trend change. You should be able to see it because we have slow moving, medium, and a fast channel in the correct order. So if you can't see it, the arrow's there for you because, and not to be rude, you're stupid. It's also to give you an alert that the trend is possibly changing. It's mostly for the alert, but this way you can see on the arrow when the trend changed. It will sometimes help you because if you see the arrow here, then the arrow here, and the arrow here, you know that you're braiding. Like right here, it looks like crap. Let's look for, now this would be for buys. This is what you want to see for a buy. So let me do this, save this picture. Because I'm going to be posting these to the forums too. I switched over to Firefox today. Chrome pissed me off over the weekend. I mean, no matter how much memory I seem to have, it just uses up more and more of it. Let's go back. Actually, this is going back to where I was taking trades. Okay, so this is a setup for sells. This is what you want to see. Slow moving, medium, and your fast channel. There must have been something here on the candles because I have it marked for when I was looking over here. You can see I did take a trade on there. Let me throw the candles back on real quick just so you can see when I loaded it. Template. Fuck it. Let me just throw them back on manually. Because I don't want to have to jump all the way back to this portion. Part 6, where are you? Okay, so this was what it looks like with candles. Minimize this. Nope. Big. Sorry, talking to myself again. Okay, so this is what a proper setup would look like with candles on it. Here was our little trendy changey. Basically, it means that our two are moving, our slow and our fast have crossed. Our slow and our medium have crossed, and the fast is below it. It's a 3MA cross. Reason we're using a 3MA cross as the alert is it's going to keep us out from getting alerts all the damn time. If we look between the arrows, there's a nice spacing in between them. This even on the 1 minute chart. Breaks and lags. Is it just me? I don't know. Maybe my internet's slow today. Is anyone else getting them? Because it's possible it's my internet. We had a really big windstorm last night. I'm recording it, so we will have a good recording too. Let's see, I can shut down. I don't know why that's running. Just in case it's my computer, let me shut down a couple things. Just in case. I'll shut down a couple things just in case. Nah, I don't want to get Skype. The rest I need. Okay, so let's continue. Where were we? So this is a setup for if you're going to be looking for a sell. Again, you can see here's an okay area for a buy. And a sell. So does everyone understand what we're looking for? I color-coded it so there cannot be a mistake. If you take a trade and it's in something like this, right here, then I have no idea why. Okay, so if I see anyone taking trades like in that, even this, it looks nice and it's moving up. For now, right up to about here, this is a no trade zone for y'all. Okay, so let's go back. Next thing we're going to do, so this takes a little bit of movement not day by day, minute by minute. The things that what you need to do, in my opinion, other than being on the right side. Okay, so from what we just talked about, what do we think of this market right here? And then we'll go on to the next step, which is going to be take profit and stop loss. What do we think of this chart right here? Is this good or bad for trading? Because the two things you have to worry about are market conditions being correct to trade, and is your take profit stop loss right? So any opinions on what this looks like for trading? Does it look good, bad? Ranging bad. So what system do we want to use right now? If you see this on your screen, what do you want to switch to? Bad. So we know that the market's ranging. It's flat. It's too flat for our 1 minute scalping. The market's ranging. We're getting braiding, or it's ranging or braiding, whatever. We want to switch to TA and use TA. If anyone has a TA chart up on UJ, then you could probably tell me if it's good or bad. But now we know. And if we're on TA and the market's going up, then switch to this. This gives you two different things. One of the biggest thing I see is people making stupid mistakes. They're forcing trades on TA when it's in a trend. You shouldn't have to force trades in a trend anymore. It's that simple. You jump to this and you start trend trading, and when it goes too flat, you go back to trading axis and you trade binary options. The good thing with binary options is you only need one candle of movement. We don't need 10 pip moves. We need a one candle to go the right direction, and we just need to be at respecting a range. So you can trade on a 10 pip range, a 15 pip range, a 20 pip range, as long as it's ranging. If it's trending, get out of it, come to this. Okay, next, we're going to talk about take profit, stop loss, and marking your chart. You want to do this in a cycle. Right now, up here we have, and let me do this so we can just get rid of the distractions. No candles. I'm going to switch to a line chart for the hell of it. Right now, over the last 10 candles, the average movement's been 3.69, 3.92, 3.85. For a tight stop loss, then we could pretty much just double that up to about 8. And 8. This is using Quick Deal. Again, if you're not using Trader's Way, just go to your I covered this in the intro on the forums. Go to your broker's page and see if they do support Quick Deal. If they don't, I will find, probably by the end of the week, I'll have an indicator that will be able to, a script that can do the same thing as this. It just won't be as pretty because this is built in for the brokers. So the first thing you're going to do whenever you jump, you want to look at the averages and make sure your take profit and stop loss is set right. This is going to make you be involved with the chart. I said this last week. You are going to be involved with the chart, and you are going to be adjusting everything on the chart to the current market conditions. One, it's going to help you earn PA faster because you're going to be looking at the chart, using the chart. And two, it's going to make sure that your take profit and stop loss are set correctly because this is the 1 minute chart, and I had someone in another room mention it. Sometimes the 1 minute chart does move fast. It moves fast, but if everything's set up and ready, you're going to be able to just click one button and go. Next thing we do, okay, so we set based off of this, and this is a very tight one because we're already hitting 4. We might want to go 8.5 or 9 or even 10 pips take profit stop loss. For me, I would go 10. What I do is double it, then add 2. Some people are a little bit less aggressive, will go 8. Some people will go more. Basically to give the trade a little bit more room to breathe. What happens now if you're getting stopped out a lot, then you're not doing it right. If you're getting stopped out a lot, either you're trading on a range or you are using too tight of a stop loss. Your stop loss and take profit are going to be what makes or breaks you with this. Once you can recognize market conditions, if you do not have the correct take profit and stop loss in here, you're going to fail. It's as simple as that. The next thing we need to do, because we want to visually see where does 10 pips put us up here. Right click, go into indicators lists, go to here, and we're doing 10, so it would be 100. Take profit offset pips is 100. If we notice, the red lines are 1 pip channel, which equals 2. It's 1 pip above, 1 pip below. Just click OK. Now we can see our take profit's 10 pips up here. This is why I like Quick Deal, because I can just drag it around. It was in the way of what I'm seeing. Now we're set up. Our next step, and I'm going to turn the candles back on. Our next step is to identify a swing high or swing low that would be in the way. I want you to do this on every single chart as it moves. We're going to identify here. And if you don't know what a swing high, swing low is, I will be trading this all week with TA, switching back and forth depending on what the market's giving us, so you will learn it. And I'm going to be recording it. We got another one right here, and just for the hell of it, I will mark this one even though it's not really pertaining too much. We also want to look for support and resistance. Is there anything blocking this candle from going up? So right now we can see we have a little area that if price breaches through, it might be a good run up. 10 pips is up here. We're still at 10 pips down here. Basically, anytime before you take a trade, you want to look left. If you've been doing your job and looking left, it's going to be marked for you because you're the one who freaking marked it. Yes, an indicator could draw fractals, blah, 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 support and resist. For now, I want y'all to draw it. Reason being is you're going to learn it. If you're doing it yourself, you're going to learn it. If you're having an indicator doing it for you, you're going to jump on there and be like, man, why didn't that work? And you're going to cry. This is going to force you to basically look at yourself and say, did I do it right? Right now, do we have a setup? We just got an arrow. We have the chart marked. We have our take profit set. Again, this is popping up for the last 30 into 4.1. So, but 3.64. So the last 10. So it's dropping a little. Don't be too concerned with the numbers. Use an average plus 2 it, or just double it. I personally like the double plus 2, depending on what my movement looks like. So is this a good trade here? Anyone? Can we get into this trade? And then while we're at it, we're going to look at something. Okay, so if anyone answers if this is a good trade to get into or if you haven't a valid setup yet, here is something to look at. If we see this, one, it's flat. And this is just ignore that this was, let's pretend this was a good setup and this wasn't here. Let's pretend our little rainbow line was here. If you see price jumping in, out, in, out, in, out of the fast channel. Not the best idea to trade. It's showing weakness, and the deeper it goes in, yes, soon, yeah, we might have one. The only thing we're going to be watching for, Damien, is we want to watch, again, what I just showed. And let me zoom in one. Drawing tools, pain. This is going to get rid of the colors in the channel. Remember, what we want to watch for is this section here is okay. If price continues to be in the channel like this, like it is here, we want to be concerned about that. But so far, we might have something setting up. But we'll see. Trying to think what else here. Well, I don't want to say let's take a look at a couple past trades. I want to do a couple live trades. So if we have questions, guys, let's go with them. We're going to go through and mark each chart we have up right now. So here's Euro. I'm going to mark my swing highs, swing lows. Just because price is down here, we want to be prepared. Area concern there. What are we at? 2.6, 2.5, 2.3. So double that. Let's come up with 6. Let's set it to 7 since I'm doubling a little bit higher than I should. Once I do this, next step, go into the indicators list, go into inlines, and let's do 70. This lets us visually see where our take profit's going to be. So when we look left, all we have to do is follow this line and see if something's blocking it. What do we notice about this chart? Price is dipping into the channel, but it's coming back out. It's not breaching down into our medium cloud. So far this isn't the best setup, but it's not a bad. It's not going to bust through our take profit stop loss. Everyone get what I just did there, or do I need to review it? This chart is now set up for what our current market conditions in. 7 pip take profit stop loss. We used average candles to determine that. We switched inlines to see where our take profit would be. This is 7 pips above price. We marked our swing high. If we have a low, we can mark it. I want you marking these manually. Why? Because it's going to involve your brain. And it's just going to become second nature to you to look left and look at these things. Support here. So it's marked. This chart is ready to go, and as it progresses, you'll keep marking it. If a trade comes, your TP and SL are already going to be there. You're going to be able to visually see where that trade is and adjust it once the trade's on there. I will show how to adjust take profit and stop loss once it's on there. So any questions on what I just did here? We're going to do it on the next chart in a second. So here's our next one. This is AUD USD. First thing we want to do is our take profit stop loss right. We're running about 3, so 6. That's a tight take profit stop loss. I didn't add anything onto it, so we'll just leave it at 6, and if we get a trade, we'll see how a tight works out. Next thing we need to do, adjust what? Our visual take profit and stop loss. So let's go in. It's already there, 60. 60 is 6. Remember, just add a 0 to whatever it is. The red channel is a 2-pip channel. It basically gives you an idea on candle size. So if we're looking right now, look at these candles. This candle was less than 2 pips big, less than 2 pips big, less than 2 pips big. Just a visual cue for you, a little bit of visual help there. There's a lot of things in here that, because trading is visual, if you were looking at this, I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to take this off here for the next chart, and I want you to see why I like using inlines. Give me 1 sec, almost done. I'm changing everything because I don't want you to have any hints. Okay, here's our next chart. This is... How many pips are these candles moving? What's the average pip size? What should my take profit and stop loss be? How far is it from here to here? Do we see kinda? Where all of a sudden a lot of the information you're using to be on the right side of it, to be in the right on take profit and stop loss are gone. Can anyone tell me how big this move is without measuring it? So that's a 23 pip move. Could you have guessed that was 23 pips just from looking at the chart or having to take the time to measure it? We're dealing with a 1 minute chart. We're not going to have time for all that crap. Up here, that's a 12 pip move. You can't judge any of this crap. You have no idea. Think about inlines and the average chart size. It's like the legend on a map. You know how when you're looking at a map and it says 1 mile equals and it gives you like a little, or it says 10 miles or 30 miles equal and it gives you a little 1-inch line? What I'm giving you is like the legend to your MT4. It tells you at a glimpse the size of your candles and lets you judge things. So it's important to have them on there and to be using them correctly. One bad thing is, since Quick Deal is a script, anytime you load a template or switch the time frames, you're gonna lose it. Okay, so we got this one marked. And braiding. Right away I can see we don't have anything very good going on. Crappy market conditions. Next one, possible. The weakness we're seeing here is that this is dipping down now into here. So even if it came back out, I'd be a little bit concerned. And don't push these trades, guys. You're going to get enough good setups. I'm going to cover the spreadsheet next, and the spreadsheet is just a freaking guide. I will explain why it's a guide and why it's realistic and not realistic. Let's get through our little chart setups. Okay, so AUD USD, the first thing we want to come to, 2.7, 2.7, 2.65. So 6 is probably safe. We said we are going to leave it like that as tight. Did I do something to lose it? Market. And just for the hell, because that should have been there if I would have been up this morning. We're in, arrow-wise, we're in an upward trend. I never want you to place a trade unless this, common sense is going to be here. We'll look at some entries, too, in a minute. If we don't get any, we'll go back and look. I really don't want to take it. I'd rather take some live. And we need to mark here, because we have a possible trade forming, but we need to know about this. Everyone see why? Because this is a previous high, previous swing high, whatever you want to call it. There would be a fractal here, there would be a swing high, swing low here, there would be a higher high here. We want to know because even though this comes up, we're going to go with the breach of. We don't have a previous support down here at pulled to, so we can't use it at a double tap on a support. And we'll get more into that. For now, I just want you to strictly follow trend. Next chart. When Quick Deal first comes up, you're always going to have to close this and go. Okay, so let's get this one set up real quick. 2.6, 2.5, and 3.2. So this one's a little bit harder because we got a 1 pip difference in between the two. So 3, 4, 5, 7, 3. I would say 3.5, double that. That's 6, 7. Go with 9. Again, you'll get the feel for setting the take profit and stop loss. If you're getting stopped out too much, send me your trades, post them to the forums, and we'll talk about what your take profit and stop loss was. Move this out of the way. Let's mark our chart. Is there anything we should be looking for? Here's a baby little resist zone. Got one here. And these don't have to be pretty, just get them on there. And if we were marking it correctly, we have one here. And these should have already been there because as you're following the chart. And we got one right here, a little one in here. We don't have a setup, so we're not too concerned with it. We just want it marked and following. You're going to continuously cycle through your charts. Watch them as they go. So next, we go here. We're at 10. It still holds. So move on to the next chart. We got 2, 3, and 4, 7. So this is slowly becoming a no. Our last 10, we can bump this to 9. 9. Go to your inlines. And you see how you're constantly going to be messing with the chart. One, it's going to keep you aware of what's going on the chart. Two, it'll keep you, when it's trending, you're going to be in and out of a trade nice and quick, and you won't be too concerned about, well, is it a good trade? Remember what I said, though? This is a concern for weakness. We're breaking through the channel into the medium moving. We even broke into the fast moving. This is our trailing stop. It would have been hit. So if you would have placed a trade, I don't know, right here, you would have only had, well, I can see it, about a pip, because the red lines are 2. We only had about a 2 pip stop loss. Too tight, and the channels aren't running all upwards together. I'm trying to think if I missed. Okay, this one up here, swap long, swap short, don't worry about it. Candle will close in is right there for you. Daily low, daily high. That's up to you if you need it. And distance from MA240. What that means is it's 189 pips above. So this is a 120. So that means if we're taking trades and we're taking buys, overall we're really in the trend. If we're taking a sell and everything's lined up, we're going against the overall, but I mean, it's the 1 minute. You're going to have swings, and that's what you're identifying as swings. So let's look. Okay, so do we have anything stopping? Let's zoom in here. This is the first potential we might have for a trade. All our clouds are right. We got cloud, and the channel. So we're waiting for an entry. What are we waiting for? Let's make sure first it's 222, 2.5. We could go 7. Make sure you don't go 75, 7. Go to inline. See, I'm not too stressed about it yet. I'm not stressed about it at all, actually. 70. Because it hasn't hit above. Now we're set up for this one. Here's our take profit. We can visually see it. So while we're waiting, let's zoom out, look to the left. Is there anything there to stop this little bitch from running? No, it looks like we're in a nice uptrend. So let's get back in where we can see what the hell's going on. As we can see, here's our closes. This is just a general area. Now we need to look. Now, if you're going to be really picky, and I don't think you should be, but we'd look for a candle that opens and closes outside. It could touch. So this, we're getting an open. Here was the close of this one. So this one's very, how do I like to say, ambiguous. I cannot talk today, I swear to God. I'm probably going to open this trade up and go take a pee. Sorry, I'll pause the recording. You can ask questions. We're waiting for a nice clear above here. This is a wick, so it bugs me a little, but the channel's coming up. Here's our slow, medium, and our channel. Let's zoom out once we can see it. Everything's looking okay, and I'm not too worried because price did not breach down here. What I am worried about, my TP 75. Oh shit! Thank you. Okay, so anything I'm worried about, and it has to do with time. What am I worried about getting into this trade? I'm gonna take it now. Not the perfect entry, guys, but we haven't had a setup yet, so we can also, I can use this as an example in bad and put it in the forums that I didn't wait. But let's see if it was good or bad. This one's just borderline. I would have preferred to see price a tiny bit higher, but it was borderline. So if I'd give it like a 6 out of 10 maybe for entry. The one thing I am concerned about though is, and time-wise, we have 21 minutes till the U.S. bell rings. Let me get some water. The things that didn't concern me, and this was a swing where it came down. Hopefully we don't get this swing again, but price was not breaking through our fast channel very much. It was getting nowhere near our trailing stop. I talked about this last week. What if you do an "oh fuck you, I fucked up" moment? What do we immediately do to our trade? Anyone remember? You're not going to get to close it because you need to learn to deal with your loss. That's a hint. What do you do if you take a trade and you're like, oh shit, I did it wrong? And I want you to learn to deal with your losses. A big part of this is dealing with a loss and not going ballistic or losing your freaking mind. We don't close it. We never close it. What I want y'all to do is right click here, go to trailing stop, and set it 30 points. You deal with your loss. That's your only chance out of it. It's going to help you build up a tolerance for losing. You really need it. Andrew knew what to do. Trailing, stop it. Again, like this one, what I said, for entry, we wanted... See, it was just borderline where I wanted above here, but... After this one, we're going to pause. Because I need to go pee really bad. Okay, well, actually, I'm going to pause it and just let this trade run. Do you want me to zoom out one? I'll just zoom out once we can see it. That's the complete trade. I'm going to pause and I'll be right back. I really got to go tinkle, and I don't want to sit here and wait for this thing. Okay, so if you have questions, put it in there. Trailing stop, 30 points on it. That will get you, so you basically the trade never happened if you get out of it. Now, if you don't get out of it, take your freaking loss like a man, like a girl, like a woman, whatever you are. And I'll be right back. Okay, so we were talking about take profit, stop loss. We get into a shit trade. This is learning, guys. I need you to develop good habits. Moving a stop loss is not acceptable. Moving your take profit, for now, it's not acceptable. If you take a trade, you need to learn to deal with it. Good or bad, you need to deal with it. The only option you have, well, that I'm giving you, whether you want to do it or not, it's up to you. But the only option you have is if you take a bad trade, I want to see a trailing stop on it of 30 points. Again, to do that, all you have to do is find your trade line, open it, go to trailing stop, and select 30 points. Reason being, again, I want you to learn to deal with a loss. Once you're in a trade, this whole, well, if I just move my stop loss down a tiny bit more, then maybe the trade will work out for me. It's unacceptable, especially when you're live. Reason being is you're going to knock your risk to reward ratio all out of whack. There is no, excuse the language, there's no fucking around with the trade. Once you commit to a trade, you're in the trade. It's like having sex. Once you put it in, you did it. You let the trade run. If you can't stand to watch it, go to a different chart. But one, I want you to be able to identify a mistake and live with it. And two, if you're in a good trade, let it run. See what it does. Just don't worry about it. The only, really, even if you screw up, like right now, we're getting close to the US bell, you let that thing run. I want you to learn from your mistakes. If you don't learn from your mistakes, you're not, well, you're just not going to learn. You're going to think, I can always move my take profit, stop loss, and try and adjust to it. You can't do that because, one, it's not going to give you proper metrics. When I say metrics, we have to have something that's it's like when you're doing a scientific experiment. You have to have something that's set always. So if your take profit and stop loss, they're not always going to be the same, but if you're using the same methodology to come up with that take profit and stop loss, and you're doing it correctly, you shouldn't get stopped out right away. If you're getting stopped out within 1 to 2 candles, it's too tight. If you're continuously getting stopped out, you're either 1, taking bad trades, or 2, the market conditions are starting to change and moving against you. We're going to take a look at that in a second and what to do. So we're going to let this trade run. Let's go to our next one. Well, we missed. We had, weak. This one, ranging. Again, this is UJ. How can we tell it's ranging? We're seeing a multitude of colors. Until we see a good run forming, stay out of it. The other thing is, if we wanted to get into this one, did we have a trade here? No, we wanted to wait till price came above here. Next, marker chart. We have a swing high. And we have a low down here. How's our take profit looking? We're at 3.8, so that's about 4. So that's 8 plus 2, 10. We're good. So 10, that means our inlines is still within, we're good. So we just took care of this chart and updated it. We know if we do get a trade that forms on it, we're okay. Right now, I'd say it's ranging. We're getting red, green. It's just, it's not forming up nicely. So trading axis this one. So cable, we'd be trading axis it. 10 minutes to bell, we shouldn't be trading at all now. So trading had just halted. We take no trades, whether we're on trading axis or if we're on scalping. We are in a no trade zone right now. This is Euro. We don't need to mark anything. Everything stayed the same. We're at 9 pips. This is 3. Double it was 6, so we could move to 8 to be safe, but we'll leave it at 9. It's fine for now because we don't really have anything there. We'll come back to it in a minute. This was our open trade. This is AUD USD. And see, the reason I'm concerned about US Open so much, if you notice, every single pair I have open has USD in it. I do this for one reason. Look at the spread. Here's USD JPY, less than 1. US CAD's less than 1, so it's an option for you. USD CHF is less than 1, so it's an option for you. US CAD bumps above 1 every now and then. Here's GBP. Here's cable, less than 1. Euro, less than 1 on the spread. So do we see a pattern forming? Euro GBP, less than 1. Euro CHF, slightly at 1. I'm trading 4 pairs that are almost consistently below 1 on the spread. Why? Because I'm on a 1-minute time frame and I'm trading some tight shit. Okay, so as this trade is forming, can we see what's happening? What is price doing in the fast channel? Now, in my opinion, it's because the US Open's coming, so we might get a change of sentiment. Sentiment means that we were looking up, the price might start moving downwards for a bit as US Opens. But what's the problem right now? What are we seeing that should worry us? Not that it's ranging so much, because we're in a decent upwards trend. It's that price is riding in the fast channel. When price is riding in the fast channel, see how it's here? It's above the fast channel. This is above the fast channel, so that's good. Remember I said that the little bit of concern I had getting into this trade was that price had dipped down through the channel and came up. It wasn't a big concern because it didn't do it very much and it came right above. But now we're riding in the channel. So everyone sees that? We're riding in the channel. That's a little bit of a warning sign that we might be looking to turn. Or it's just consolidation before it moves up again. But either way, you need to be aware price is riding in the channel. This one, price was above channel. This was UJ. It finally broke out. That would have been an entry candle right there if I was watching. We're at 9. Take profit, stop loss. Everything's still good there. 8 minutes in, we're in a no trade zone. So either way, I'm not concerned because we're looking at US Open. I'm not going to take a trade here. If we weren't in US Open, that would have been our entry candle right there. There's US pre-trading and then there's US Open. US Open happens at 9:30 Eastern Time. Right now we've just been in pre-trading the whole time. My preferred ones, I love London, and US is my secondary choice. Asia is my third choice. Asia, DAX, German, whatever you want to call it. Aussie, Asia, German combined. Those are my least favorite. So 8 minutes till bell. Do we have questions or anything while we're doing this? This is cable. Right away, we should be on a 5-minute TA chart. Are we seeing how to use this to determine what type of trading you should be doing? Makes it a little bit easy. Now, as a warning, you probably would have got your ass handed to you here on a UJ trade. Let's take a look real quick what it would have looked like. Depending on what's going on the 5-minute chart, like I said, we might have just got our asses handed to us. Yeah, well, that's loading. We'll wait for this up. We'll watch AUD USD. It'll give us something to do. Okay, so while we're going to look at UJ, and then while the U.S. market's coming, I'm going to go over the spreadsheet that you're going to get with this. I'm going to go over the things in the spreadsheet that are how would you say, attainable and likely, and we're going to go over the things that are not likely. But it is going to be a guide for you for trading, and it is the reason I'm having y'all set up a $100 account for it. Okay, so we took a loss on this one. So let's do what I'm going to do. What I would do after every loss. I would zoom in first. Okay, so the first thing that I had mentioned, we are already close to the U.S. Open. Typically, I don't trade until about 9. This, other than that, was not too bad of a trade. But what we need to do now is, this is AUD USD. So did we follow all our rules on entry? No, we didn't. What rule didn't I follow? This would have been my actual entry candle, because this is the one that broke above everything that I asked for. I got in it early. So can I say I screwed up? Yes. Whose fault was this trade then? Mine. By the time the second thing here on this one, were we close to US Open? Yes. So should I even have been trading? No, but we were bored. I was bored. So what did I do here? Was this the market's fault or my fault? It was my fault. So like I said, you take your loss, because a loss is going to sit in your head more than just a screw it. Then a screw it, I just took a trade. So here, US Open, early entry. This was the actual entry. Should still have never been taken, though. Concerns we had was that price dipped down below the channel, and then it was riding in the channel. If I would have waited, I would have had 2 bars below the channel again, so I would have had a little bit more warning when I had my proper entry. Actually, this wasn't even a proper entry. We never did have a proper entry. Okay, proper entry, what I'm looking for is... Let me see if I can find it. There's one right here. Proper entry is... Now, the wick can touch it, but open and close were above the channel. That is a proper entry. So let's go back to AUD USD. Did we ever have a proper entry? Should I have ever been in that trade? Here was a wick above, but US Open. So possibly that. Okay, so I see what I did. I did do a proper entry, but away from US Open. It was just meh, because that was the close of the candle. We had the open and close above the channel, so I did wait on a proper entry, but because it's just too close to the US Open. We don't want to trade during US Open. We'll watch the charts for a second on US Open as I get the spreadsheet up. But real quick, let's take a look at the USD JPY breakout, and we'll see. Actually, this wasn't a setup. God, I'm just a mess. Let me zoom out one. USD JPY was not a setup yet. Because why? We had orange. We need green, green, white. I need coffee. US Open, you can see what happens. Price starts moving, basically. Here's US Open AUD USD. Cable, still ranging. Euro, we're getting a downward move. See how we had a nice upward move, and as the US Open kicks in, we had a downward move. Does everyone see the dangers of trading US Open before we move on to the spreadsheet? And just to review, this was a my fuck up trade, not market conditions. It was me getting in during US Open. Take profit was correct. We did everything correct except we traded during the US Open. So lesson learned, hopefully. I prefer to... Let me mark this so I can mark it. Let me put text on it because I'm going to save the screenshot. Do not trade US Open. We'll make it nice and big, like 32, and I'm going to screenshot it. And put it on the forums. Then we'll look at the spreadsheet, and then we'll be, by that time, hopefully we'll be clear of the US Open. We can take a couple trades. I will need coffee soon, though. I should have done that while I was going pee. Sorry. Let's see. Let's go over to... Sorry, I'm posting this to the forums. Again, guys, I would rather show you screw-ups and good trades, but do them live. I don't really want to look back on a chart, because as soon as I see the chart, I'm sure subconsciously I'm saying, hey, I could get in that. That would be a good trade. So for me, it's cheating. I'd rather... Basically, I'd rather do it real. And... Image... URL, post. Alright, so if you want to know where I'm posting these, remember everything's there. Your intro to get it set up. And I've been taking pictures as of the last day and as all this week goes. Okay, so next we got spreadsheet coming up. Let's find that. Where did I put it? Is it on the desktop? Oh wait, we forgot USD JPY. Okay, here was the UJ spike up. Let's take a look. Overbought, oversold, no confluence on it. It did not break the Bollinger and the upper. Second candle, this is the one where I said we had an daily pivot hit, Murray Math line hit, Bollinger Band hit, weekly high hit, hourly FIBO hit, overbought, oversold. So we would have, as we've been saying the whole time, UJ was sucking ass. We would have had a trade on TA right here. So if we already knew we should have been on UJ, then there's our trade. And if we don't see it, here's the confluence, daily pivot. Weekly high. Daily high, don't give two shits about. Remember, there's no lines on these because, one, it's Monday. So the weekly high and the daily high really don't mean jack shit. But our hourly FIBO was there. Our Bollinger Band was there. So we did have two current market conditions that matter broken. Our institutional was there. Institutional was there. So we had four. We had our overbought, oversold. Now, what's important with the overbought, oversold? We didn't have divergence, so we didn't have a weakening. So we knew price was running up correctly. Now, if there was a divergence, it would have been a nicer clue, but we had enough confluence with an overbought, oversold condition, and we knew we were in a range. This would have been a warning candle right here to watch. Again, this was a possible run up, which it did run up, but it hit enough confluence to stop. Now, remember, when this one ran up and it was overbought, oversold, let me draw the lines out. What did we have around it? Why wouldn't we jump in on our first overbought, oversold? We're in a range, so we know there's not much momentum first. We need to think of that. We're in a range, there's no momentum on this, so we're not going to get much of a run. There's nothing over here institutional-wise. We did not hit a current market condition other than this here. We had one current market condition, which was the inner hourly FIBO. So this is where we got all our confluence lined up together. We had 4 reasons, 5 reasons. Everyone get it? Good? Happy? So by using the 1 minute system, we knew we should have been on this chart anyway and watching it. Whether you want to use 2 sets of MT4 or 1, that's up to you. I like having 2 up because I like being able to jump to the 5 minute. The reason I'm using 2 is because if I switch anything on here, I lose quick deal. So it's kind of a pain in the ass because it's running a script. Alright, so cable, ranging. Let's take a look over here on cable then. Does it agree with us on the 5 minute? It's a tight ass range on the 5 minute. I mean a tight ass range. But we know that we shouldn't be 1 minute trading it, so we might as well be 5 minute watching it. Let's look at Euro. Euro is, it's willy-nilly-ish. We're seeing it barely staying above the cloud. We're barely getting a slow-moving cloud. The medium cloud is okay in the fast channel. It's punching into the fast channel twice, so we know that's a little bit riskier. US opens here, so we know we're not touching it. Hopefully that, okay, before I get the spreadsheet open, 1 minute, 5 minute, does everyone get a general idea? Again, I'm going to be doing this all week, so we're going to go over it again and again and again. But does everyone get an idea on 1 minute, 5 minute, how to use both of them together and decide which chart you should be on and help y'all out a little bit? I know sometimes people are on their 5 minute chart and they're trading against the trend like... I'm ignoring my language, say fuck it. They're trading against the trend like they're fucking insane. The trend is your friend. Go with it. So, Any questions on 1 minute, 5 minute? If you have it, I'll answer it now. Otherwise, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, keep watching. It will be recorded. It will probably get covered. Okay, if not, let's move along. Now that I'm getting ready to be in live trading, here's the first thing I do when US Open hits. If I can find the shit. Sorry, I switched to Firefox, so I got to import all my bookmarks. Okay, so here's my daily routine. 8:30's hit. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to check out what's going on for news today. 8:30 we had... Oh, wait, it's 9:30 a.m. My time zone's out of whack. Let me fix... You know what, screw it. I check news. Okay, so I check news. If you want to put a news indicator on your chart, I highly recommend it, and I have some for you. If you don't have one, just hit me up on Skype and I'll send you a news indicator. I have several different kinds. Ones that just shows it there, one that alerts, one that talks, one that draws vertical freaking lines. Whatever the hell you want, just ask and I'll give it to you. Just tell me I want one that talks and I'll get you one that talks. It'll say news in 5 minutes, news in 10 minutes. Whatever the shit. Just, you need to be aware of news. News and US Open. So US Open, I am not trading currently. I'm checking my news. I'm reading through here. See if there's anything important here. Blah, I don't give a shit about these. But it's just to get an idea what's going on for the day. Because this is now when I'm coming up to my actual trading time. My trading time is from 9 Central Time till US lunch, which is 11 o'clock my time. That's a 2-hour window. That's all it takes for me for the US session is 2 hours. I trade London also, but the US session for me is 2 hours. If you're sitting in front of your computer for 6 hours a day, okay. If you're sitting in front of your computer for 6 hours a day and you're learning, that's fine. If you're doing this real and you're serious, I do 2 hours London, 2 hours US. I'm not saying that's the best way, but when you're on the 1 and 5 minute charts and you need more than that, I think you're doing it wrong. That's just my opinion, and if you're able to trade for 6 hours straight, more power to you. After the US 2 hours of doing it, my brain wants to explode, and Netflix is calling my name, and so is YouTube, because I can't focus anymore. It's about keeping focus, and the 1 minute system is going to keep you focused, because you're going to be constantly flipping charts. I guarantee after about a week of using the system, though, the focus will be there. You're going to be comfortably moving through, marking charts, keeping things up to date, and you'll probably get more price action knowledge than you have with, I'd say, 2 weeks of Trading Axis. Trading Axis is more a sit back and everything's drawn for you. The 1 minute is going to make you actively participate with the chart. It's going to force you to learn faster, and it's going to improve your trading on your binary options trading too, because you're going to start to notice those things on the 5 minute chart. Alright, enough of babbling done. Are we ready for the spreadsheet? So, US Bell, check news, sit back, relax, go through anything you need, verify your charts. We're not in a rush. Done. Now do we check our take profit stop loss? We're at 3, so we can drop that down, double it, 6, 7, we can do an 8, and then we'll look at the spreadsheet. 8. Again, I'm not in too much of a hurry, I'm just trying to show what you want to be doing over and over and over. 80, so we have a visual of where our take profit and stop loss is. Okay, so we're good. Let's move on. If I can find the damn thing. Where did I put it? I think it's in documents. I might have sent the right place for once. I will post this up later. I'm going to post the video up first, and then I'm going to post this up later so you all have it for tomorrow. Reason being, I want anyone that wasn't here, I don't want them getting a hold of this until they've seen the video and it's been explained. This is just a simple Excel spreadsheet. The reason I asked you to do a $100 deposit on the intro and actually do it correctly is I want you to get a feel for real money management. Now, a lot of you have no idea, and you just trade. You trade right on your money management side, but you have no goal. I think without any type of goal, then you're kind of just trading to trade, and you're trying to make as much money as you can per day. I did this for the last 2 weeks. I'm sorry I didn't mark it. I just was like, screw it. I made my target. I was kind of lazy, but I was also trying to push through and get everything ready for y'all. So that's my bad. But the spreadsheet here, it was originally broken down to be 3 pips a trade, 4 pips a day. Actually, what I want y'all to focus on is I want y'all to get 12 pips a day or more. And as soon as you get over 12 pips, you stop. You go do whatever else then. If you want to switch to another account. Okay, so what I'm saying is use a $100 demo account so you can get the feel. It's going to tell you how many lots to use at each level. I'm sorry, it's 3 trades. Is it 3 trades? Yeah, it's 4 trades a day, but you have to watch the lot size as it changes as it goes. I'm going to probably edit this or adjust it to be a little more specific, but I want y'all to have something to get you a little bit goal-oriented. Then we're going to cover why that some of the things in this are realistic and why they're not realistic. But basically what it is, so I did 2 trades. I did a trade for 7.2 pips, and I did a trade for 9.9 pips. That was a total of 17.1 pips. I was done for the day. So that means tomorrow I come in and I'm trading 0.11 lots based off of a $100 account. This is why that $100 account you set up, I want you to use it. Once you're done for the day and you hit your goal, you turn that account off. Go to MetaTrader, over here, go up here, and do it real. If you register, you'll be able to hop in and out of these accounts. So I have 4 accounts. I can hop in and out of any of these, and I have my live account. You can hop in and out of any of these demo accounts. Just write down the number. So that way, once you've hit your goal for the day, you close out the demo account. And you jump. See, this one's demo 100 USD 1 to 1,000. I'm going to be doing this with y'all, guys. Once I get a couple of people saying they're ready, I'll do it with you. But I'll probably do it on my live account. But just in case, I'll do it here so I can maybe show some trades on it on demo and some on live. Because once I hit my live goal, I'm done. But I am going to try and do the challenge with y'all. I could knock this out in 2 trades, typically in 30 minutes, if market conditions are good. If you can't, sit and be patient. Wait for the damn trade to come to you. Okay, so do we get the first part of it? How, like here, this is day 1. One, 2, 3, 4. So it's broken down that you're looking to get 12 pips. Once you get 12 pips, you're done. Turn off the account, walk away. We'll cover losses tomorrow and how to deal with losses on this, because you're always not going to get your 12 pips in 2 trades. You might get a win, a loss, a win, a loss. It might take you 4 or 5 trades to get 12 pips. I'm not going to say it shouldn't, because there's days when I struggle too. So basically what's going to happen is we're going to look down here. At the end of 30 days, based off of $100, if you're following this, generally speaking, you should be at about well, that's not very nice. You should be about $666.80. You'll be trading, you're not even going to be trading a full lot yet. You're still at 0.65 on your lot size. Okay, so everything on this page is doable. This is a perfectly fine way to aggressively grow your account. It's a perfectly fine way to put some stress on you when you're on demo to try and stick with a small account and grow it. Because if I'm guessing right, most of y'all are going to open up with a small account and try and grow it. This is going to give you the guidelines on how to grow it. Again, like I said, I will adjust this. I just haven't figured out how to adjust it yet for this. This is a good guidelines. It gives you plenty of breathing room. Now, where does this thing get unrealistic? Let's go to the second month and see if it gets unrealistic there. Second month, we're at a $660 account. We're still doing the same thing. We're looking for 12 pips. Once you get your 12 pips, stop, switch to a different account. By the end of the second month, you should be somewhere, I'd say, around 4,000. What that does mean is you're now, each trade you do is about a little bit over $100 a trade profit. It also is over a little $100 loss. But if you're doing it right, you shouldn't. You need the stress. I want you to know that constantly, because it's your money, and it's a crazy target. But I want the stress put on y'all. I mean, so many people buckle under the stress of money management. So I'm giving you a spreadsheet to help guide you through it, the money management. I'm giving you how to do your take profit and stop loss that actually makes the spreadsheet a little bit easier. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to become proficient in jumping to this and saying, this is a shit chart, I should be on trading axis. This is a shit chart, now I should be on trading axis. Shit, we never had a fully qualified setup. I traded during the US Open. But I had... you would have barely been able to get one trade out of that. So, I want you to be able to develop these skills in demo. If you take a bad trade, I want you to be able to live with it, and I want you to see what it does to your account balance on this spreadsheet. So you can see what's happening, good and bad. You'll start to see on good days when I'm following all the rules, I'm sitting and I'm waiting for a perfect setup. The spreadsheet will become easier. If you're fucking around taking half-ass trades that aren't qualified, trading during the US Open, trading during Asia, trading when it's ranging, you're not going to get anywhere on this. But if you just wait for the good setups, I've been marking them. They're going to become very obvious to you, and hopefully there is no hope. This week I'll be able to show you a couple very good setups, and you're only going to need, with this, you'll probably need 2 trades a day to fulfill your 12 pips, because at minimum I'm getting 6 pips on a trade, and typically I'm getting 8. So if I get one 6-pip trade and an 8, I'm already over my 12 target. You should be the same way, so you need to be picky and wait on the proper setups. But yes, it is designed, everything I'm doing, I want the stress on you so that when you go live, I can't put real money stress on you, but I can give you the spreadsheet so you can see it just falling apart in front of you. When we get down to here, we're only going to be at 4 lots, which means you're not going to get issues on filling. You can't. That's why I'm going on the realistic after this of the 6 months. There is no realistic way to be a millionaire in 6 months. The lot sizes just get too high, and that's what I'm talking about now. So we're at 4.3 lots at $100 profit. We're still easily doing that without using a pending order. We're going to be getting filled when we hit. Now, what do I mean by filled? When you hit buy or sell, there has to be someone on the other side of that trade to say you're hitting buy, they're hitting sell, they're buying your order. It balances out. That's why it's an exchange. The stock market is a buy and sell. If you sell something, someone has to buy it. If you buy something, somebody has to sell it. So, at 4.3 lots, you're not going to have an issue. There's going to be plenty of people out there, 99.9% of the time, that you're going to have plenty of people out there that are going to be buyers and sellers. They're going to be fine. Let's move into month 3. Month 3, we get up to, and this is where I'm going to say it gets a little shady. The person who did this spreadsheet was not a trader. He pretended to be. He was a fisherman. Unfortunately, a lot of people fell for his bullshit. Putting it down to 3rd month, you'd be at 29,000. You'd be at 28.6 lots. That is, I wouldn't say it's pushing it, but depending on who your broker is, time of day, every now and then you might not get filled. My goal for y'all is to get to this point where you're doing 10 lots. Each trade there is worth, I don't know. I think I had it figured out and I forgot, so I'm sorry. My goal for y'all is to get to the 3rd month. At the 3rd month, right around 10 lots. So, 581 minus, where am I? 10581 minus 10333. That's a $250 trade. So, $250 trades times 2, that's a $500, that's two $500. Remember, this is at 3 pips. You're doing a 6-pip trade, so that's about a $500 trade off of a 1-minute time frame. That's where I want y'all. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have your ups and downs as you learn to read market conditions. But don't stress out over it. I mean, take your time, learn, ask questions, post charts. It is definitely doable whether you get to the 1 month, 2 month, or first month. You can become pretty successful on it if you don't fuck around, you take it serious. Take your demo serious. Learn from it. So that when you do go live, I want you to do the exact same thing. Go live with a $100 account. Don't cheat. It's too bad. It's almost a setup. We're still close to my trading time, but we see this is almost a setup. Not quite. So what do? We don't want to trade, and this is, for me, this is hard for me because this is don't trade pretty. If we had the medium, if we had the slow and the medium lined up, this is a nice little setup. But we also, again, we still have the candles in the channel. Everything's jumping up a bit. Slow, medium, fast. Here was our meh. Candle opened above. It's euro. That giant wick worries me. 8 pip, it doesn't really match up right now. Just for the hell, I'm going to put in a trade so we have something to watch. We would have had, and this is barely, but let me take a look here. Okay, so here's our fast-moving channel. Here's slow, medium, slow, medium, fast. Price is riding above the channel. This is looking like a better trade. Here is our big candle. This big candle worries me because we're only using an 8 pip stop loss. We should actually be using like a 10 and a 10. But everything got off shot here because of one big candle. You need to keep that in mind. I'm trying to show live what you need to be looking at. So just because our 10 candle jumped up, our 30 and our 60 still stayed at around 4. So 8 to 10 pips is okay. That big candle kind of worries me. Let's move this so we can see what's going on. Let's zoom out one. We had here. Let's zoom out one more so we can look to the left. Is there anything else to worry about on the left? No. So let's zoom back in. This candle was a worry one, but what did we have here? It opened and closed above. Wicks can touch, but open and close. So if price drops back down, and it's okay. Now, what can we say is good and bad about this trade? What are we missing? Let's see if anyone can catch. We're close to the hourly, which worries me a little. In other words, 9 o'clock. Not so concerned about it. Do we have any news at 9? Does anyone recall? Let's see if we did our job. I'm setting the time on my calendar correctly. So right now we got what? Today's the 11th? Yeah, it is. So we got a FOMC speaking and a Fed announcement all day tentative. Can't see to the left. Okay, we can see to the left. It's clear. Up to here. Our buy was right above that. So even though I didn't zoom out that far, that was our only worry right there. I didn't zoom out to see that. Our take profit was a little bit short, and I did not have my lot set. So, other than that, can anyone see anything wrong with the trade, good or bad? What were the good points, bad points? Only concern for worry I had was our slow moving was a little bit thin. Our medium was okay. Our fast moving channel was good. Price was not dipping into the fast moving channel coming up to this trade. So let's take a picture. And we'll put that over on the forums. La la la. Okay, so basically they're good setup. The only thing we worried about, slow moving channel. Do we see anything else to worry about on that? That wick was the only thing I was worried about because that was an odd movement. We want to look for consistency along the chart. That wick was a little bit to be worried about, but candles were staying above the channel. Why am I back to Forex Factory? I'm stupid. I'll give you a chance to make comments, questions while I post this. Again, I'm trying to keep pictures into the forums to get them nice and full. If someone wants to come up with a system, that would be wonderful, because right now I'm posting under the system with no name. And I know, that's kind of dick. Post. Okay, that's posted, so I'm caught up there. Okay, so it's yeah, the wick and the wick and the slow moving cloud were the only concerns we had. But let's look at the good points of the setup. Take profit, stop loss. We would have wanted to ignore the wick. Should have come into account for the average 10 candles. So the take profit and stop loss was okay. It could have been increased a tiny bit, but it was okay. One of the things you got to remember, the last 10 candles, if something irregular happens in it, it's going to knock this average out of whack. So that's why we have 60 and 30 on there. Because if I just... How did you come up with TA, by the way? How did I come up with it? Like, create it? I'll cover that in just a second. I'll pause recording when I do that. Good trade. I'm going to pause real quick because I'm going to make some coffee. If you have questions, put them in there. It did everything we said we didn't want it to do. Candles stay out of the channel. We had green, slow moving, a little small. We had medium and then fast. So everything came together there and we were in and out of the trade pretty quick. The chart was marked, our take profit, and everything was almost there. Is the color the rainbow EMA? No, it's not. It's just there to look pretty. It's a trailing stop loss. I wanted it pretty to be there. Oh, the name with originally because trading axis, because an axis is rubber band theory. That helps. It's based off of an axis. Everything reverts back to the axis. So it's a reversal system. So trading the axis. The axis is your center of, like, you can think a let's say the fuck, I can't even talk. That thing that goes out to a tire, now I can't even think of it. The axle. Axis, axle on a tire. Everything always comes back to the axle or the axis. So that's how trading axis got its name. Because we're looking at price is always going to go either overbought or oversold and revert back to its axis, or the mean, or the middle. That's how it got its name. Okay, so pause time, guys. Taking a break. Okay, so this is going to conclude the first part of the recording. I'm going to make it a 2-part recording, so I'm going to end it now and just look for part 2.